It's now been 1 week since a Fresno street vendor was murdered in broad daylight. Today, the Southeast Fresno community gathered for a vigil in his honor. Our Adrian Thomas was at that vigil earlier today. He joins us live now from another memorial dedicated to that street vendor, Lorenzo-Perez. Adrian.
Shauna, good evening. We're here near the Pierce and Alta intersection, not far from the spot where Lorenzo-Perez was tragically shot and killed just a week ago. And you can see here the memorial that has been set up by community members and just an outpouring of support for Lorenzo-Perez and his family. At a vigil tonight just blocks from here, this neighborhood remembered Lorenzo-Perez and made a call for change.
That was my corn man. That was every single time he came down our street. You know, I would throw my daughter out there, go get him, go get him.
Tonight, the Southeast Fresno community remembers Lorenzo-Perez, a beloved street vendor shot and killed last Sunday. The vigil at Pilibos Park is not only honoring Lorenzo, but is a cry for help from a neighborhood tired of suffering.
I lived there. He was our corn man, and this happened in front of our house. And then the violence needs to stop.
At the vigil, other Fresno street vendors came and gave away free goods to those attending in a show of solidarity. Rocio Lucio, a vendor of nearly 3 decades in Fresno, says she's concerned.
Tengo miedo.
I'm afraid, she says. She tells us a few years ago she had an incident where someone pulled a gun on her and how Lorenzo-Perez's death has brought the seriousness of street vendor safety to light. She also says she's glad the community is paying attention.
The easiest thing that I can do is just to provide that safety through police presence.
Fresno Chief Paco Valderrama says more needs to be done to protect street vendors from senseless acts of violence. Rocio Lucio told us many street vendors who operate without a permit fear the repercussions of calling police if they're being harassed. Chief Valderrama says he wants to change this.
Let's figure out how we can get them permitted. You know, that way they're not afraid. That's not an obstacle anymore. They're not afraid to call the police.
And Chief Valderrama emphasizes with this being the second street vendor killed in Fresno in just 6 months, the Fresno Police Department is taking this very seriously. Valderrama says he wants to increase police patrols around areas where there are a lot of street vendors, as well as repair and install surveillance cameras. Live in Southeast Fresno, Adrian Thomas, KSEE24, local news that matters.